In November of 2017, a professional researcher with a hobby for missing persons utilized the Ancestry posting board and saw that Marlise McWaters and her daughter, Sarah, were missing. That professional researcher posted a message asking if Marlise and Sarah could be the victims found in Allenstown, New Hampshire. On October 11th of 2018, last fall, that same professional researcher, who he later identified as Rebecca Heath, a librarian from the state of Connecticut, listened to the NHPR Bear Brook podcast and remembered a posting about Sarah McWaters from 2000. The researcher, Ms. Heath, contacted the person who made the original post in 2000 and asked more questions about Sarah. The researcher contacted the person who made the original post in 2000. You'll notice that we are purposely omitting the names of family members to honor the request of family members for privacy. The relative of Sarah McWaters identified Terry Rasmussen as the last person to have contact with Marlise. The relative was not aware of Terry Rasmussen's history. However, the researcher, Ms. Heath, was aware of the significance of Terry Rasmussen. The following day, October 12, 2018, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children was contacted by California investigators and made aware of the potential lead regarding Marlise and Sarah McWaters. Marlise McWaters, Marie Vaughn, and Sarah McWaters were identified as last being seen in California with Terry Rasmussen around Thanksgiving in 1978. Based upon this information, an investigation into the life of Marlise Honeychurch commenced by New Hampshire cold case investigators. Dozens of people, to include family, members, relatives, and friends, were interviewed. Family and friends shared a tremendous amount of information with us, to include personal memories, photographs, and their own DNA. All of this information was of great assistance to us to establish a timeline for Marlise and her children. In December of 1971, Marlise gave birth to her daughter, Marie Vaughn. In July of 1973, Marie's father took Marie to California with what we consider parental custody. It was not a kidnapping. Basically, he just decided to leave Massachusetts and return to the state of California. In the summer of 1973, Marlise traveled to Lakewood, California, and took custody of Marie when Marie's father was not present. In February of 1974, Marlise and her husband, which was Marie's father, were divorced. On September 1st of 1974, Marlise married her second husband. This is a photograph of Marlise and Marie Vaughn. We believe it was taken around the holidays. Between 1975 and 1976, Marlise lived around Camp Pendleton, California. Her second husband was enrolled in the United States Marine Corps. In December of 1977, Marlise gave birth to her second daughter, Sarah McWaters, and that was in Hawaiian Gardens, California. In March of 1978, Marlise and her husband, Sarah's father, separated. On August 30th of 1978, Sarah McWaters' father was awarded temporary custody of Sarah. In October of 1978, Sarah McWaters' father meets and developed a relationship with a new woman. At that time, Sarah was not observed, and it is presumably believed that she was with Marlise. Marlise was 24 years old in November of 1978. Thanksgiving time of 1978 in La Puente, California, Marlise and her children went to a family event at Marlise's mother's house with a man she identified as Terry Rasmussen. She identified him as Terry Rasmussen to multiple people at that event. An argument ensued between Marlise and her mother over a trivial matter. Marlise left that event with her children and Terry Rasmussen and was never seen by her family again. Marie Elizabeth Vaughn. Marie Vaughn was born in 1971 in Artesia, California. In June of 1972, we were able to identify that she lived on Holt Street in Stamford, Connecticut. In March of 1973, she lived in Fall River, Massachusetts with her parents, while her father was stationed nearby at a U.S. Navy base. In July of 1973, she lived in Lakewood, California with her father and her grandmother. In February of 1974, Marie's parents divorced, and she stayed primarily with her mother, Marlise. Early in 1974, she spent time in Connecticut with Marlise and family. In August of 1976, Marie's father last had contact with her, and that was in Hawaiian Gardens, California. In 1977, Marie's sister, Sarah McWaters, was born in Hawaiian Gardens, California. In 1978, Marie was last seen at her grandmother's house in La Puente, California. She was seen leaving the residence with Marlise and Terry Rasmussen. Sarah Lynn McWaters was born in December of 1977 in the state of California. She was last seen in 1978 with Marlise and Terry Rasmussen. These last two photographs are taken of a gathering, and we're trying to identify where that gathering may have been, and we actively are soliciting the public if they recognize anyone in either of these photographs. We believe this to be Marie Vaughn on the picture on the left, your left, which is blowing out the birthday candles. And there she is again, seated with a bunch of other children. If anyone recognizes any of the children in that photograph or the location, we would certainly be interested.
As the other speakers have said, it's important to remember that those three victims had family and friends who cared about them and missed them over the years. Several of those family members have come to New Hampshire today and are here. They've asked us to read a statement on their behalf. On behalf of our families, we would like to thank everyone who spent decades working tirelessly to identify our loved ones. This day comes with heavy hearts. Marlise, Marie, and Sarah were so loved by our families, and they are greatly missed. We take solace in finally having the answers we have longed for. Thank you to everyone who never gave up on the Allenstown victims. We also want to express our sincere gratitude to the media for helping in the efforts to identify our loved ones. During this difficult time, we are asking for privacy as we process the events that have unfolded over this week.